What's going on, everybody? Josh Engleman here for Stokastic.com, back again with the NBA DFS contenders on FanDuel for Thursday, January 26th. Now be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. Follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman. That's where I want your questions about this video. Let me know what you like in my top 10, what you dislike in my top 10. If you have any questions about this slate as a whole, find the thread for this video and hit me up. That's all you got to do. Plus, we've got BetMGM as the sponsor if you are interested in 2 free months of Stokastic Plus Platinum and up to $1,000 in first bet insurance. All you have to do is click the link in the description below. Now, we're going to round out the bottom of my top 10 with Alperen Şengün, Dorian Finney-Smith, Seth Curry, Luka Doncic, and Zach LaVine on the outside looking in. Who will be my favorites? My top 5 plays for today? It's time to find out. In first at number 5, I'm going to Paul George. He is shooting guard, small forward eligible, 8,200, projected for 43. The goal is 47. He's in the optimal lineup 22% of the time. We're talking 34 minutes for Paul George and potentially more if this one's competitive. Problem is, Clippers are 13-point favorites at home against the Spurs, so it does strike you as the type of spot that could get away from them. 1.25 fantasy points per minute here for George. 24 points on 30% usage. 6 boards, 5 assists. 6 boards, 6 assists. Close to 2 stocks. It is a really nice matchup from a pace perspective for the Clippers. But the real problem here lies in the fact that they're facing San Antonio and they're 13-point favorites. But if you're getting 34 minutes out of Paul George, I think you're getting a really good fantasy score for 8,200. Or you can pay up for Kawhi Leonard at 9,500. Small forward, power forward, eligible, 40, projected for 47. The goal is 53. He's in the optimal lineup 23% of the time. It's basically the exact same story for Kawhi as it would be for Paul George. He's just like a slightly better option. 36 minutes, small forward, power forward, as I mentioned, slightly different positionality. The 1.3 fantasy point per minute guy in this matchup. Revenge narrative alert against the Spurs. Who the hell knows? 26% usage, 26 points, almost 8 rebounds, 5 assists, and 2 stocks. I don't know if I'd love having the idea of like Kawhi Leonard and Paul George together in a 13-point line game against the Spurs, but I don't think that it's outlandish at all to want to pay up to 9,500 for Kawhi. One of those two guys is probably going to smack this Spurs team around. I just don't have a great feel of which one it is. Now, this isn't the sexiest play in the world, but Quentin Grimes is in at number 3, and it's just because we don't have any real value yet. Grimes crosses the guard forward line, so it's shooting guard, small forward. His price has come down considerably. This is a guy that was in the same role 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and he was 6K. Now he's 4,600. That's very different for someone that's playing his minutes. He's projected for 23. The goal is just 29. He's in the optimal lineup 24% of the time. You get 35-ish minutes from Grimes every night. He's like a 0.7 fantasy point per minute guy. It's not a lot to write home about. 14% usage, 11 points, 4 boards, 2.5 assists, and a little over a stock and a half. Taking on Boston, they're 8.5-point dogs, but it's a pace-neutral matchup. You're making a bet on minutes when it's early in the morning like this. And when you've got somebody at a 5K price tag with positional flexibility that's playing large-scale starter minutes, they just look good in the morning. Quentin Grimes won't be number 3 by the time we get to lock today. We'll have a couple guys in that like low 3s or low 4s, high 3 range that just sort of make him less interesting. But for now, he's a guy that we need to pay attention to. In at number 2, I'm going all the way up to KYRIE Irving. He's 10,100. He's point guard, shooting guard eligible, projected for 54. The goal is 56.5. He's in the optimal lineup 25% of the time. He's got an outstanding matchup here against the Pistons. Detroit is terrible. The Nets are 9-point favorites here, but it is a pace-up spot. Kyrie's playing 38 minutes a game, and he runs the entire show for the Brooklyn Nets. 1.4 fantasy points per minute in this matchup. You know, there's no Durant, so who's going to stop him from having 35% usage, 35 real points, 6 boards, and 5.5 assists, plus 2 stocks? I want to get to as much KYRIE Irving as I can today. He's probably my favorite overall play for the day if you need to pay up and you're just expecting a big day, because I just don't really see what the Pistons are going to do to slow him down. Now, before we get to that number 1 contender, one last reminder to please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. I want you guys to follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman. That way, you can hit me up with any questions you have about these videos and any questions that you have for this entire slate. Find the thread with this video and with the DraftKings version as well. Finally, BetMGM is the sponsor. 2 free months of Stokastic Plus Platinum and up to $1,000 in first bet insurance, as long as you're signing up using the link in the description. My number one contender for today is Time Lord Robert Williams, power forward center eligible, 5,700, projected for 31. The goal is 34.5. He's in the optimal lineup 26% of the time. I got him in for 29 minutes here. We have no Marcus Smart tonight, but everybody else appears to be back. 1.07 fantasy points per minute. It's 12% usage, but it's 10 points and 10 boards, 2 assists, and 2.5 stocks for Time Lord. It is a massive pace down spot for the Boston Celtics. They are sizable favorites here against the Knicks, but the key piece of everything for Robert Williams is the fact that he has the power forward eligibility, which, let's be clear here, he should not have. But that added flexibility allows you to do a lot of good things with big men. It's always better to have centers and big men in your line. They're just better point per minute plays. And when you can knock one down to that power forward line and continue to play another center, that's very important for your lineup, because the block and steal upside for Robert Williams is huge on a site like FanDuel. So Time Lord Robert Williams is my number one contender. Alrighty, folks, that will do it. Those are my NBA DFS contenders on FanDuel for Thursday, January 26th. The DraftKings version is around here somewhere. Check it out, everybody. Good luck tonight. Win some money. We are back again tomorrow morning for another edition of the Contenders.